Our relations with South Africa continue. We do not have any breach in our diplomatic.
So the president of Ghana has finally disclosed, Ghana's current relations with South Africa. And honestly, it's not really what I expected. Now, according to the president,
Why are thousands of Ghanaians moving south for opportunity while South Africa's presence in Ghana is not that much?
I'm happy you are talking about the numbers. I was wishing that you were going to ask me that. How come Ghana only gains 2.9 million rands when South Africa gains 670 something million rands in a month?
But I mean, trade imbalance is a factor.
The president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, finally breaks silence concerning the relationship between Ghana and South Africa due to the repatriation of 300 Ghanaians that are finally back home to the motherland, and also the xenophobic attacks that are happening to foreigners residing in South Africa. Not just Ghanaians, Nigerians, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Ethiopians, and many other African countries residing in South Africa. Let's take a look at the videos. I'll be right back. Don't forget to like and share.
So the president of Ghana has finally disclosed, Ghana's current relations with South Africa. And honestly, it's not really what I expected. Now, according to the president, he thinks that instead of we venting towards South Africa, he thinks that we should take our time and, empathize with these people. We should all look at the root cause of their frustration towards all these black foreign nationals in their country. And honestly, as the African in me, I agree with the message totally. That one there, I won't lie. But as a Ghanaian, I don't know if I'm down with all that.
I'm telling
you, have people like this guy, this Komiseni, walking around and telling people in South Africa that when they sack all their foreign nationals from their country, their governments can give each of them 1 million rand. Like, it's not like they are working for their money. They'll give it to them for free. And still, South Africa will be rich. And people too are believing what he's saying.
You don't know.
I don't know how we'll be able to fix this kind of mentality. But then let's listen to the video. Maybe for you, you would agree. I mean, for me, I do agree, but to some certain extent.
Our relations with South Africa continue. We do not have any breach in our diplomatic relations. It's not the first time there have been these xenophobic attacks in South Africa. They say we shouldn't call it xenophobia. I don't know what else, other name you can give it. Many of our citizens rushed to our embassy because they were displaced, especially those who came from Durban and other places. They sought refuge in our embassy. And so at a point we had nearly 200 of our citizens in our embassy. And I mean, it didn't look like the South African authorities were doing anything to try to quell what was happening. And so we had no option but to evacuate our citizens. And so we did a first evacuation flight. We're going to do 2 more to take those who want to leave. It's voluntary. We asked, do you want to stay or you want to leave? And many of them say they feel threatened, and so they want to leave. But I think it's unfortunate what is happening in South Africa. We need to drill down to what causes these flare-ups in terms of xenophobia. I think that there might be some structural issues in there that are a carryover of the apartheid era. And so all of us must empathize with South Africa, or must sympathize with South Africa, and we must help South Africa to be able to drill down and find out what it can do to reduce the unemployment rates amongst the black populations, and to also change the mindset that people who have come to your country are taking your jobs. Really, let all the Africans leave. After the last fellow African leaves, is it going to change unemployment among blacks in South Africa? There's something in there that the South African government must put a finger on. Every country benefits from migration. There are lawyers here in the UK, and everybody brings some advantage. They either bring their knowledge or they bring investments. And I think we should get over this fear of, foreigners coming into our countries.
Why are thousands of Ghanaians moving south for opportunity while South Africa's presence in Ghana is not that much?
I'm happy you are talking about the numbers. I was wishing that you were going to ask me that. How come Ghana only gains 2.9 million rands when South Africa gains 670 something million rands in a month?
But I mean, trade imbalance is a factor. Some would find that economic justification for migration as flawed, Ambassador, but make me understand.
These are questions that you have to ask. Because the Ghanaian business person or the South African business person has all the backings of the legal regime in Ghana when it comes to businesses. We don't have it in this country. I can name South Africans in Ghana who are using what we call the Ghana card. The Ghana card is a form of identification that lets you do a lot of things in Ghana. South Africans have it.
Your Excellency, as the High Commissioner of Ghana to South Africa and your experience witnessing and interacting with your citizens, where do you categorize the current situation in South Africa? Will you say it's xenophobia? Will you say it's Afrophobia? Or do you think it's anti-migrant? And why do you say that?
I think that we need to call a spade and allow South Africans to, especially those that are demonstrating, to understand that we would not sugarcoat what they are doing. They have described it as Afrophobia, anti-immigrant demonstrations. But in doing that, they become violent. They've targeted people of certain descent. So if you want us to say anti-immigrants, in the demonstrations that you're having, you don't think that there are British nationals who are illegal in this country?
Yeah,
you don't think
course,
there are Canadian people who are illegal? Have they gone to any of those?
No,
people?
not at all.
Let's call it out to them and tell them that we will not sugarcoat it to make them happy. This is xenophobia. This is disgraceful. This is an act that shows that their level of maturity and their level of the understanding of the Pan-African vision that our forebears, Ora Tambo, Robert Sobukwe, Nelson Mandela, what they fought for, that purpose has been defeated by the current generation of South Africans who believe that taking the laws into their own hands, doing as they please. And you see, what makes it even more pathetic is that they are channeling this thing to their brothers and sisters from the African continent. The people that they are supposed to call brothers, the people that they are supposed to... Because you see, when you have a nation that easily forgets its history, then there's a problem, because Absolutely. It is the history that will shape you into the future that you are going. For me, I felt sad as an African when I heard one of their press conferences when one of the journalists said that, when somebody said that, oh, Mandela went to other African countries, they gave him money, some gave him their passage, some gave them passports, some gave them military training. And the lady just said that Mandela did that for his family. So once you hear something like that, then you know that they've lost touch of history, they've lost touch of who they are going to become. And so they are disoriented. You ask yourself that this is it. And so from West Africa, where I come from, we take seriously our history. We take seriously that cultural upbringing of respecting the elderly, irrespective of what the situation is. And I think that is something that South Africans also have to look at going forward.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, and I share your sentiment, because I mean, it's very pathetic, you know, the way South Africans are treating other Africans and tend to forget about the history. But also, I feel the South African government and those that witness the warmth Africa showed to them while they were in exile have also failed to tell the young generation the history. Rather, we hear the history of the Dutch, the British, rather than the history of Africa. And what a lot of the younger generation in South Africa do not understand today is that without the African continent and the support from Africa, they would not be liberated. Many of them felt, you know, being free is from them throwing stones and on the street. But it goes beyond that. It has to do with the participation of other African nationals. So I quite agree, and I share your sentiment.
And let me add quickly that the history of South Africa has been that of riots and demonstrations, picketing, converging, and, you know, during the apartheid regime, the only thing that the strength they had was to have demonstrations where a lot of people come, was to have riots when people come. And I think that it's sad that they still have that mentality. The elderly South African has moved from that riot nature of a mindset where I was telling the police commissioner the last time that in my ignorance, I just said to him that, but if people are going to demonstrate, where 2, 10, 100 people gather, they need police permission. Only to be told that the laws of South Africa doesn't like it's free. You don't need to notify the police that you are going for a demonstration. Because during the apartheid time, remember, the police people were the white people. So they believe that if you go and ask permission that you are going to demonstrate, they
will not allow you.
So the law stated that go on any demonstration. I think that it's time that they have some constitutional amendments as well. If you struggled for a reason and you've achieved that purpose, I think that the next step is to leave what is behind you and chart the path that the whole world is charting. And I'm sure that it's one of the things that we would recommend that they do as a country.
Of people were not expecting the president of Ghana to make such statements, but this shows you how Ghanaians are. They are very meek at heart, humble, and they don't like problems. And this is just how an average Ghanaian man is. This is what they portray. They are so peaceful. They don't like problems. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video and share.